Bill Maher rips apart the woke revolution and the connections to communism. Bill Maher is finally getting it. He's finally understanding what's going on in America. I don't know who he's talking to or who he's watching, but he's definitely seeing a lot of the stuff that people like myself has been talking about over the past few years, and he's um, he's actually speaking out against it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store where I have our When I Comply t-shirts. So check my t-shirts out as well. All right, let's talk about this news. As a Chinese spy balloon was floating over the United States, China and the repressive nature of communism was on the mind of many people, including the host of HBO Real Time with Bill Maher. Although now I just read a report a few minutes ago that it's been shot down once it went over the Atlantic. But I said in the previous video that they waited until China went across the whole entire country and gathered all the information before they decided to shoot down the balloon. I mean, it's people don't understand how big the United States really is and how much open area the United States really has. They could have shot it down when it was around an unpopulated area, but I digress. Maher joked about the balloon being over Montana. Quote, now, I wish I could play the video. I got the clip, but I can't play it because HBO is really tight with their intellectual property. If I post it, I would either get a strike or have to take it down or copyright or something like that. So I'll just quote what he said. Quote, now they know where we keep the cows, Maher said. He said the Chinese were denying that the balloon was spying. Quote, that's what TikTok is for, he declared. Great take. Then Maher took on the woke revolution and how they wanted to reinvent the nature of human beings. This may be one of the best takes he's done. Maher made the comparison to how that such thought in communism worked out in places like Russia and China with the Red Guard and the public shaming, or rather, how it didn't work out for millions they tried to re educate and those they killed. The problem with communism and some recent ideologies here is that they think you can change reality by screaming at it, Maher said. Great point. Just like the Chinese communism that wanted to get rid of the four odes, you see today's American leftists want to toss underfoot the statues of Abraham Lincoln and all those white guys. All that old stuff must be swept away for today's woke enlightened thought. And if you don't like it, you will be re-educated. I mean, look what they doing with Martin Luther King. They try to say that you should pay attention to people's races. You shouldn't be judged on merit or on your character, like Martin Luther King talked about. You should be judged on your race, which is utter ridiculous. This woke stuff is nonsense. But to illustrate that, Maher cited the story of Jason Kilborn, a University of Illinois Chicago School of Law professor accused of engaging in behaviors that made some students of color feel uncomfortable. So now you can't feel uncomfortable now. On an exam, he alluded to two racial slurs in a hypothetical question on a black female worker suing an employer. Complaints ensued, and he was banned from campus and had to undergo sensitivity training and write five reflective essays. I mean, I would have just said, "Nah, f y'all, I'm gone." But that was the modern version of the Red Guard, of what the Red Guard was doing. Quote, if you can't see the similarities between Kilborn and that, the person who needs re-education is you, Maher said. And great point. How dare banjo player Winston Marshall Reed, much less speak approvingly of a book by Andy Ngo about Antifa? He was made to take time out from his band and write a pitiful apology for the pain he had caused, and an apology that has become all too common when people tread over the leftist line in the sand. They make you apologize. They try to take away your livelihood. It's just crazy. Pain from a book, Maher asked, quote, not unless he hit the drummer over the head with it, but they need to write an apology to prove that they have now complied with the narrative. It should be noted that Marshall later retracted that apology and quit the band, putting everything on the line to do so. And good for him. Um, um, Good for him for saying, you know what, I'm gonna take back my apology. I'm not giving into this woke culture. Well, Maher pointed to John Lennon's song "Revolution," which was the opposite of a call to revolution, with the line about carrying pictures of Chairman Mao, which the Red Guard did. To prove their purity. They had to carry the picture of Chairman Mao. Quote, ain't going to make it with anyone anyhow. Quote, there was a guy who understood how good intentions could turn into the insane arrogance of thinking your revolution is so effing awesome and your generation is so bendingly improved that you have bequeathed the world with a new kind of human, Maher said. Foreign communists wanted you to believe that humans were no longer selfish. Here in the U.S., the humans are no longer born boys or girls, and obesity is not something that affects health. He said he used to mock Republicans, but now he has to mock leftists who think biology is just a theory. So, again, and then Bill Maher, who is a leftist, is being attacked by his own leftist people now, but at least he having some type of common sense and being able to call out this woke agenda that's destroying our country. The folks who used to live under communist oppression are sounding all the alarm bells about what they're seeing in America now. They went through it before. They know what the signs are. We're seeing that forced cultural revolution narrative now. But there are far more people calling it out now and pushing back against it. It's a battle for the future that we must win, or it would totally destroy this country. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out themarkrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.